You ever walk into a house and know within 30 seconds that this could be the one? Not maybe, not we'll see, you can just feel it. The layout works, the light hits right, the location actually fits your life, not just on paper. And for a second, it all clicks. You can see your routine there, your furniture, your life. And then you slow it down. Let's sleep on it, let's think it through, let's just make sure. And that all sounds smart. But in this market, that exact moment when everything finally lines up is usually the moment you lose a house. Not because you made a bad decision, but because you didn't make one fast enough. And the part that catches most buyers off guard is this. It never feels like a mistake while it's happening. It feels like you're being careful. But what happens next is usually the part that nobody expects. Before we go any further, you need to understand something. It's a little counterintuitive about this market. A lot of buyers right now are hearing the same thing, that things have slowed down. Homes are sitting longer. Price reductions are happening. You're seeing listings stay active for weeks. So naturally, the assumption becomes, I've got time. And listen, that's not completely wrong. The average house is moving slower than it was a couple years ago. But here's the problem. The average house and the right house are two completely different things. Because the moment you walk into a home that's priced right, in the right area, and it checks most of your boxes, you're no longer in the slow market. You've just stepped into a completely different lane. One where that home is getting attention, it's getting interest, and sometimes multiple offers within days. So what feels like a safe pause is actually happening in a moment where the clock is moving a lot faster than you think. And here's the shift that most buyers miss. You're not competing against the entire market. You're competing against the small group of buyers who are also waiting for that exact type of home to come up. The same ones, they're refreshing listings, the same ones who recognize the value right away, the same ones who are prepared to move when it shows up. So the real decision isn't just, do I like this house? It's how many other people are about to feel the exact same way I do right now. Because while you're taking time to think it through, someone else may have already made that decision. And once that happens, you don't get a second chance at it. Now, most buyers think the cost here is obvious. You hesitate and you lose the house. That's part frustrating, but it's also easy to move past. You tell yourself, it just wasn't meant to be, something better will come. But what I see happen after that, that's where the real cost shows up. First, you start comparing every house to the one that you didn't get. And nothing quite measures up. The layout's not as good. The location's not as strong. It just doesn't feel the same. And now, without even realizing it, your expectations went up, while your satisfaction went down. You're chasing a feeling that was real, but it was also time sensitive. Second, you often end up paying more later. Because even if the next house isn't competitive, the market doesn't just freeze while you decide. Rates shift, prices adjust, so what ends up happening is you're making the same decision you could have made earlier, just at a higher cost. It's the same type of home, the same situation, just more expensive. And third, you start losing to stronger buyers. There are buyers out there who are prepared, fully pre-approved, clear on what they want, ready to move when the opportunity shows up. Some are paying cash, some are just decisive. So indecision doesn't protect you. It actually puts you in a weaker position. The cost of indecision isn't just emotional. It's financial, it's strategic, and it compounds. And this is the part that we really need to get right. Because this doesn't come from being careless. It comes from trying to be too careful. First, overthinking disguised as being smart. More comps, more opinions, more validation. But at some point, more information stops creating clarity and it starts creating noise. Second, too many outside voices. Your friends, your family, your coworkers, they're not in the process with you. They don't feel the urgency. So they introduce doubt, not because something is wrong, but because they're not in the moment with you. And third, this idea of the perfect house. If I wait, something better will come. But the more boxes a house checks, the more people it attracts, which means the closer you get to perfect, the less time you have. You'll miss great homes chasing the perfect ones. The buyers who get the house aren't the ones who feel 100% certain. They're the ones who are clear on what actually matters. There is no perfect house unless you're building it from scratch. So we separate two things, non-negotiables and nice to haves. Non-negotiables are what you can't change. Location, layout, lot. Everything else, kitchens can be updated, bathrooms can be renovated, backyards can be improved. You're not just buying a house as it is today. You're buying the ability to make it yours. This is where things shift. Decisive buyers aren't rushing. They're just ready. Financially, they already have real numbers. Market-wise, they've seen enough to recognize value quickly. Mentally, they're already defined on what matters. So when the right home shows up, they're not starting the decision from scratch. They're stepping into the decision they've already prepared for. They move with clarity. They stay emotionally grounded. They trust the process and the right guidance. And they act fast without feeling rushed. From the outside, it may look quick, but internally, they're calm, they're clear, they're in control. So let's bring this back to that moment. You walk into a house and everything just feels right. In the past, that's where you paused. But now, that's the moment everything you prepared for comes into play. That feeling isn't a signal to hesitate. It's a signal to get clear, to trust the process and to move. And then right after that, if you're wondering what actually makes a difference when it comes to value, what's worth fixing, what's not, and where you should or shouldn't spend money, watch this next video. Because that's where we get into what actually adds value before you buy or sell. So you're not guessing and you're not overpaying. Click right here and I'll walk you through both.